All right, welcome to another episode from the chart readers. So I like the four that we're going to look at on this one. All right, we're going to look at Gamble, GMBL. We're going to look at Vroom, VRM, and then we'll do the normal review of SOUNDHOUND and MVIS. All right, so I hope you see what I see before I even have to say it, all right? It's one of my favorite catchphrases. It seems to be a lot of the viewers' favorite catchphrases, but man, red, 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 red could be a real nice green, 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 green. Clearly some stuff down here that I'm liking as well. I am excited to talk about Gamble for sure, GMBL, okay? Vroom, listen, it's a strategy that I like a lot. When the sector leader does well, the ones below should follow, all right? And, ooh, excuse me, CVNA, Carvana, I just covered it. It had another monster day today. You gotta expect Vroom to do the same thing, all right? And then MVIS and SOUNDHOUND, look, I don't think either is bad necessarily. I did expect a little bit more coming in today. I will honestly say that, but we'll review what needs to happen to you know, keep the march up alive, right? I don't know how else to say that, but before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. I will draw some, there clearly aren't, but I will draw some horizontal support and resistance lines. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. I'm telling you, anything you can do is so much appreciated, all right? Let's get into this, okay? And look, I'm gonna start with, yeah, obviously I like the chart here, right? But the very first thing, and I think the most important thing, is you cannot get too excited about a single day, okay? And very quickly we can see it from here. Let me actually just keep, damn, wow, dude, you're lying. Okay, what was I, jeez, since basically here, you can tell I did not look at this chart before I started to hit record. Okay, oops, sorry. Since roughly, all right, and I'm not even zooming. Let's even save right here. Since, let's say September of 2021, we have basically been under all 5 moving averages. And really what really caught my eye, and watch it as I zoom in, this stock is almost entirely under the 8 and the 20. You can very easily see the 50. There are very few moments that are on or over the 50 line. And really, I think I can see this orange line just a little too much. You know what I mean? Like, the stock is not really good at getting over the 8, let alone the 20. All right. And I think that's extra magnified this year. Since February this year, I mean, we have almost entirely been under the 20, all right? There was obviously a 1 for 100 reverse split at some point this year too. I mean, just look at how easy it is to see the orange line, all right? We literally have never closed over it since right here. Since, what is that, May, Jesus. That's a long time, okay? And I think it's important to stress again, you cannot get too excited on a single day. That said, there are some lower indicators that make me like this moment. I think a lot of it is the last 4 days of volume, okay? There's clearly been a lot of pain the last, what, 2 weeks, easy, right? I'm liking what I'm seeing these last 4 days. There is a clear accumulation of shares here, right? We're starting to bring our RSI up a little bit. That's a real nice divergence. The MACD is close to that 0 line, right? I think the really important thing though is this RSI. Okay, I'm gonna just draw this line. That's essentially where we're at, give or take. So the stock, for the most part, lives right here. There's some moments where we're above it, some moments above it, but for the most part, we've actually been well below that line, right? So, yeah, this is one of those, just if it confirms, this is going to go, all right? There's very little stopping it. I don't know if this firm 3 will even stop it. I think there's a really, like, there's a shot that this thing actually makes a quick run to 5. Otherwise, and I wish I had more decimals here. I really do, right? But oh man, there's a lot of decimals in there, dude. I can't even tell like where that is. So we're in the high 2s. So maybe 0.027, 0.026. Again, I really wish that there were more decimals on this thing, right? Like, not everything's perfect. This thing's definitely good enough for me, right? But what we're essentially, look, if this thing opens higher up, I mean, it has to be on your radar, right? Where did the hourly end? Hourly RSI is a little high. It's at 85. It's at 85. Interesting. And then where are you at? You're up here at you know what I do want to look at? It's actually the weekly. Sorry to jump around like that so much. So I want to draw this line. I want to draw that line right there, exactly on the weekly. Where does that put us on the daily? Okay, actually, look at that. So it's funny. I literally said a couple seconds ago, I don't think that this is going to be very significant. I think we're going to race all the way to 5. I think the fact that the weekly 8 moving average has us right there, I think you now have to take into account this 3-cent line. How high of a 3 cent? How close to 4 are we? Yeah, that's probably like 0.37. Again, that gap down right here on November 17th. If you have more decimals on whatever system you're looking at, please use that. But this will be a little bit harder to break than it would have seemed, and I think that's because we're going to take that weekly resistance. Nonetheless, okay, if you have 2 cents and you're going to 3 cents, that's a lot of percentage. All right. So yeah, I know I'm not the biggest fan of hunting pennies. I'm not. That said, dude, when you've got 2 pennies and you're talking about adding maybe a third one, come on now, percentages right there, right? So let's see if we can make some moves on the RSI. I'm liking this accumulation. We can very easily reject the 20 moving average. Again, we've never done this for a long time, right? I don't think we're going to get over the 50 moving average. I think 5 cents is probably, 5 cents, 50 moving average. I think that's going to be a pretty hard wall right there. Again, just re-emphasizing the difficulty of the 20, a little bit more on that 50, right? But there's some interesting things. The last thing just to talk about, dude, 274 million shares on a single day. That's a lot. Okay, so this thing has the ability to bring volume. Volume is king. I know it's on the bottom of these 3, but volume is king. Okay, so there's some interesting things that can happen. Wait for confirmation. Don't get too excited from a day. And again, just remember, this 20 has been a very pesky line. Just because we got up doesn't mean we're going to go back down tomorrow. All right, so let me know your thoughts and opinions. Let me know if there's some news I missed as well, please. Let's come into vroom. All right, got to love vroom. And really quickly, just look at CVNA. 4 really good days, 3 the last ones, right? I mean, VRM, 3 the last ones especially. I mean, when Carvana does well, vroom should follow. Okay, it is what it is. I believe in sector strength. I think this is a really easy example. I don't think I've seen any news on vroom. I don't think there's much of a reason to actually justify going from, going from 70 cents to 80 cents. All right. What's interesting now is what's going to happen with this 50 move. There's a little bit of a debate on our Discord, on my chart readers. Right there. There's a little bit of a debate on our chart readers Discord. I think CVNA has more room. I think Carvana wants to keep going up. This is a really nice candle. I did like it. We're nearing a resistance, don't get me wrong, but I mean, we're also nearing a nice little red, beautiful channel that can take us into the 60s. I think 70 is a little too high. I think it's to the 60s. But again, if Carvana and it's funny, right? Like, I feel like most of this is actually a review of Carvana. We just happen to be looking at this ticker right here, right? But yeah, I genuinely believe whatever Carvana does, vroom will follow. If Carvana goes down tomorrow, this will be red tomorrow. If it goes up, this will go up, right? So this 50 moving average has been hard. All right, we got this close before, and then a disgusting drop, right? We got this close before. I kind of like the lower indicators a little bit more on this one, right? Let me at least just zoom in to make it a little more evident. I think this volume break is significantly better than this volume break. All right, right? Like we crushed the 50-day. We were basically living on it, right? This doesn't have the same divergence as it does here. I think the MACDs are relatively the same, but I think I like the RSI just a little bit more. And I think more than anything, again, volume is king, and I am loving this volume, right? Like, we should only be in the 2.3 million range. We're actually almost double that at 4 point something, right? Like 4.6 would have been that double. So I actually think I'm liking this. I actually really think that Vroom is going to come up to 95 cents. Again, though, I think Carvana is going to keep going up. There are some traders in the chart reader Discord that I actually very loudly say I think they're way better than me too. They don't think Carvana is going to go up, right? So again, watch that one. Even if you have no money in Carvana, you got to watch it if Vroom's your play, all right? Where's the weekly? Damn, this is a nice weekly. This is a nice weekly. Again, 93 cents. I just called 95 cents, right? This is saying just a little higher. I think 98 is a little too high. Yeah, I think half that. No, I think this wants to go anywhere from 92 to 95 cents. I am liking Vroom, and again, I am still liking Carvana. So watch those two together. Let's come in to Microvision. Okay, you know, we saw a really, really interesting Thursday, Friday back-to-back, all right? You know, if you watch my videos, I am not a candle shape trader. I'm a break a line, lose a line kind of guy, right? These are really, really interesting candles for a couple different reasons, right? The first, I don't even know which one to start with, but okay, this one, Thursday, says, oh my gosh, I think we're going to fly. You know what? Let me come back down here. Friday says, oh my gosh, I think we're going to die. You know what? Let me come back up here. And Friday actually closes a little higher than Thursday. Like, I am not a candle pat. I feel like these two back to back has to probably mean something. I really don't know. All right. But, I was expecting more. There's nothing else I can say, actually. Look, today was a good day on NASDAQ. That's been an echoing theme on MVIS, actually. If you recall, on this Monday, the 11th, I was wildly bullish we would go up. Wildly bullish we would go up. Clearly, we went down. Again, a lot of my bullishness simply was NASDAQ's going to go up, so should MVIS. When the index that's about tech goes up, anything that says technology sector should go too, right? So come Friday, I'm looking at NASDAQ. NASDAQ's making me believe it wants to go up. Kind of that same, not the same, but almost that same back-to-back doji that we saw on MVIS, right? This does that. MVIS goes the other way. It bothers me. It does, okay? The one thing I have to keep saying is I'm here not breaking wild rules in my head. Like, this is an outlier. This was an outlier as well. Like, it's weird to me that NASDAQ has the same or similar doji. NASDAQ confirms up. MVIS decides, nah, I'm just going to stay here. It's weird, okay? The one thing that's like jumping out to me as I'm like looking at this and saying all these words is, look, the 100 moving average still has failed to deliver two really good candles back to back. We get over the blue line, that doesn't count. That's not even a good one. We get over the blue line, none of those count. Like, we can't back to back good news 100 moving average. And I think that's a little bit bothersome, you know? The 200 staying flat, all right? So, I mean, it's funny because generally when we fail to break a line, I start to get worried that the profit margins are going to start going down because this one's going to go down. This one's actually still staying here. So we're still hunting that same number, that same like 290, right? I'm still here, like I said, looking at NASDAQ, all right? Looking at NASDAQ truck along, looking at NASDAQ at a decently, I know a 77 RSI is actually really high, all right? But I mean, we just came off of living in the 90s. You know what I mean? So I'm a little lost for words on the indices. I've been really honest that I kind of have been losing them. Oh, I zoomed in too much. This is an important line right here, because if this one breaks, man, I mean, I can probably draw a new line roughly right there. But like, yeah, if we break 14.9 on NASDAQ, we might be coming up to 15.3. Like, my mouth got watery. I don't know if you heard that as I said that. Like, jeez, like, end of the day, I am here believing if NASDAQ goes up, MVIS should too. I thought Monday was an outlier. I was honest about that, and I'm glad Wednesday did its thing. I'm still seeing a stock that's holding this line. We're still above the 8. We're still above the 20. This stock needs to make me believe the 100's broken. Like that's what it is. Yes, we have been physically over it for 4 days now. I still actually don't believe. I would be sad if we came down to 249. I would be really upset if we come down to 240. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be shocked if we came down to 240, maybe even as low as 236. Because again, I've talked about it. You oscillate up, you oscillate down. You oscillate up, you oscillate down. I've seen it happen, right? I need to believe that we've broken the 100 and we're going to go up. Otherwise, again, we could see that low 230s, I think mid 230s. I can see that happening. Again, this should not go lower than the 50 moving average. It really shouldn't. I think this 50 is our friend. Hopefully if we reject the 100, the 50 catches us and then we go back up, right? But I hope we never have to talk about that. And you know, I'm watching this one a little closer, because again, if tech does well, this should too. And again, this knows what to do over. I break all 5 and fly. You better believe MVIS knows how to break all 5 and fly, right? So I would love to catch that again if it can do that on that 290-ish line, right? So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Did I look at the weekly? Again, still trucking along, right? Like 290, man, there's so much going on at 290. Like it is what it is. There's a daily resistance, there's a weekly resistance. I can see that just being a hard line, but NASDAQ lifts all, especially if it's tech, all right? Soundhound, look, again, I'm going to do the same thing I did last week, because a lot of the MVIS thoughts echo Soundhound tremendously. Listen, we get a good candle, break several moving averages, doji never counts. That's not the best of confirmation, but man, we were still well over that candle, right? This candle on Monday obviously starts to bring us a little, not even a little, we actually do close just a little, yeah, a little is the word, just a little under that, just a little under the 20 moving average. I will be honest, again, I'm echoing the thoughts if you didn't fast forward, but comp, NASDAQ composite. NASDAQ went up. NASDAQ had back-to-back dojis and went up. NASDAQ's knocking on a resistance line that, man, if it breaks, we can easily go up almost another 10% on NASDAQ, taking it to like a 15.3 number, right? Like, there is a lot to like on NASDAQ. And I am here firmly believing NASDAQ lifts wow, I can't get the saying right. NASDAQ is the tide that lifts all the boats, especially if it's tech. When NASDAQ does well, all tech does well, all right? And literally the exact same comments from MVIS is we can't get 2 really good candles over the 100 moving average. That was a really good one, couldn't follow through. That was a really good one, couldn't follow through. I need to believe the 100 MA has broken. And we're not quite there yet. Look, there's a lot of lines. This thing shouldn't fall too low. Again, the 50 should hold. It's literally the same comments I'm saying as MVIS, right? So watch NASDAQ. I am a believer. It should lift it, right? So a little bit of an anomaly. I said the exact same thing on that Monday, Tuesday drop as well. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. I didn't see any bad news on either. Let me know if I missed anything. Otherwise, I'll cover it closer to the end of the week. You know that. So appreciate your time. Hey, thank you. Thank you.